Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So, Joe Biden in the 2020 election skated by 43,000 votes across 3 states, and that was at a time where you had a global pandemic, an economic recession, and a lot of civil unrest. Donald Trump still just so close to the finish line. If it was not for some election law changes, he likely would have been there easily without hesitation, even with all of the baggage and the drama that happened leading up to the 2020 election and the polls, the pundits, the predictions, etc. But that's a little bit beside the point because we have to talk about 2024. We're not to 2022 yet, but is Biden even going to be capable of winning in 2024, assuming that he runs? Because, again, the guy's going to be 78 years old, meaning by the time when he would be leaving the White House, he would be 82, which would be easily a record for the oldest president of all time. So we do have to look into this, and I wanted to use the 13 keys to the White House to really decide in this video. I've used them before. We'll look at them. They're not perfect. I will explain my critiques of them as we go through the video. But first, I do have to tell you guys about my friends over at Noble Gold. Do you know about shrinkflation? Not inflation, shrinkflation. It's inflation by stealth, where you get less and less burger or candy bar for your dollar, but the Fed claims inflation is not a problem. Noble Gold solves this. You know that with a precious metal IRA, you can hedge growing prices and retire worry-free. You'll keep up with the Fed's inflation. This month, Noble Gold is giving away a free 5-ounce pure silver America the Beautiful coin with every eligible IRA or 401k rollover. To learn more about the services offered by Noble Gold, please visit them at noblegoldinvestments.com. Again, that is noblegoldinvestments.com. So there are 13 keys to the White House here. The Keys to the White House, created by Alan Lichtman, is a series of 13 true or false statements that determine if an incumbent party or a non-incumbent party would be favored to win the following election. Yes, this is not definitive. Obviously, there clearly are some exceptions, and it has not really worked in the past, and they've had to sort of change the definitions. Obviously, in 2000, it favored Al Gore. But either way, it's been fairly accurate, and while I don't really believe that it is the only thing you can use to predict an election, I think it's important to look at them periodically either way and determine if a candidate or an incumbent president or their party is going to win the White House in the next upcoming election cycle. So first of all, let's analyze the keys one by one. We'll start with number 1, midterm gains. After the midterm elections, the incumbent party holds more seats in the House of Representatives than after the previous midterm elections. That is virtually impossible. There's no way that the Democrats are going to gain seats. There's no way they're even going to keep the House, and there's virtually no way that they are going to gain about 30 seats or whatever they would need to get back up to whatever they were at the end of 2018. I think it's more like 15 to 20 seats is what they'd need, but they're not going to gain seats anyways. Republicans are going to be the ones that gain seats, even 538, the election mafia. While they may be a little bit more bearish on Republicans' chances for taking back the Senate, it is obviously clear that they agree that Republicans are more than likely, meaning like 85% plus, to retain the House, and probably like 95% plus sure that Republicans are going to gain seats at a minimum. So obviously number 1 is going to be a failure or false in terms of Biden. So that's 1 false. He needs 6 of them to be false to be guaranteed to lose. So number 2 is no primary contest. There is no serious contest for the incumbent party nomination. We don't know this. If Biden's approval keeps dipping and he tries to give in a little bit more to the right, he probably will be facing a primary challenger from the far left. I don't know if it is going to be a very serious contest. Bernie Sanders is too old. Maybe AOC or one of these Justice Democrat types may contest the incumbent party nomination. Or if Biden doesn't run and it's Kamala Harris, she probably is going to have a primary challenger. I would expect her to win based off of seniority, based off of the fact that she already holds the highest office besides Biden in the country. But other than that, we're likely not looking at a primary contest, so I wouldn't really bank on this one being a failure for Biden. Number 3 is incumbent seeking re-election. The incumbent party candidate is the sitting president. I don't really know if that bodes well, and we talk about my criticisms of the 13 keys, because obviously if you have a terrible incumbent, what advantage is incumbency? If anything, it could be a disadvantage, and we're getting so polarized to the point where we may not have two-term presidencies for very much longer. At least in the meantime. Maybe in the far future we'll see, but that really depends if America becomes a one-party state in the future or not. But either way, if Biden runs again, then yeah, number 3 would not be false, but it seems as if maybe he won't, and if Kamala Harris is the incumbent party candidate, then that would be a second false, and it actually might be 3 depending on number 2 if there is a primary contest, which we really haven't seen yet. But let's go to number 4, no third party. There is no significant third party or independent campaign. This one, I'm probably going to say that I don't think there will be a third party, so that one's probably going to be true. Number 5, strong short-term economy. Now, these are very, very loose definitions. It says the economy is not in recession during the election campaign. We don't know. We could be in a recession by then, or we could be in a recession in 2023 and get out of it by 2024. We don't know, but we have problems with our economy, and these keys don't really take that into account. So we may not be in recession during the election campaign. We might be in recession. So again, that's a question mark. We really can't make that determination. Number 6, strong long-term economy. Real capita economic growth during the term equals or exceeds mean growth during the previous 2 terms. It probably will. But economic growth is misleading. When you had to shut down everything for the lockdowns during the pandemic in 2020, it was pretty obvious that economic growth is going to dip. But when you open up everything, you're going to see it shoot back up again at an unrealistically high rate. Although still a lot of jobs were lost in that process, especially a lot of retail jobs, by the way. So again, that one probably would be true, but I think it's fairly misleading to the point where I'm not even sure if it would matter when it comes down to Biden's electability. So number 7, major policy change. No major policy change. Trump had major policy change with the tax bill, even according to Lichtman. Obama had it with Obamacare. Just because Biden passed a relief act, that's not major policy change. That clearly Biden is not going to get there. And his own party is divided. What has he been trying to really even push forward anyways, besides things such as H.R. 1, etc., and those things have died in the House and the Senate, and if anything, that would just anger Republicans in the meantime. So no major policy change has really taken place. You're not going to see a massive health care initiative, and no matter what it is, the Democrats are so divided. You're going to be hard-pressed to convince me that any form of any bipartisan infrastructure bill is going to be massive policy change, especially if you look within the bill. So I'm going to have to say no to number 7. Number 8, no social unrest. It depends. Will BLM get mad again during 2022 or 2024? It's possible, and if they do, then that key would be turned. But in the meantime, that's really just too early to tell. Number 9 is no scandal. Now, Biden kind of has a scandal right now with the whole Afghanistan thing and the way that he handled it, but this is a tough one. It really depends if that would be defined as a scandal. Now, Trump was impeached, and Lichtman said that was a scandal that affected him. It didn't affect him. It didn't affect the 2020 election whatsoever. If anything, it negatively affected Democrats in the House that represented districts that Donald Trump actually won in the 2016 and 2020 election by like 5 points or so. But all in all, I really think that you would have to say that I'm not sure that this key is not going to be turned. I would say that there will likely be a scandal, even if Afghanistan doesn't count, to the point where I would say that this key probably is going to end up being false again. Number 10, no military or foreign failure. Again, I don't even need to explain this one. The way that Afghanistan was handled, that is ultimately going to be a key turned right there. That is false. Major foreign or military success, false. Charismatic incumbent, false. Clearly, if it's Harris or if it's Biden. 13 is uncharismatic challenger. Now, I think Trump is fairly charismatic, although his appeal, because of his personality, has its limits, although it also has its strengths. Personally, I think Trump is charismatic. Lichtman doesn't see him that way. So for the 13 keys, we wouldn't be able to say so. But you look at this. So those are the 13 keys right there. Remember, 6 of them need to be false. And the incumbent party is predicted to lose. How many are false already? Number 11, well, obviously, it could change, but 11 will probably be false. 10 will probably be false. 12 is false, so that's 3. No scandal, this one might be false. Major policy change, this one is more than likely going to be false, especially with the midterms coming up and no real signs of any policy change being put forward. So already you have 1, 2, 3, 4. We talk about the midterm gains, that is going to be 5. So any of the other keys needs to be false, and Biden's going to be not favored by this. And if Biden doesn't run, already Kamala's not favored. So you want to talk about the scandal key? We could talk about the scandal key. That one is tough depending on how it would be defined. The economy definitely could be in limbo, or Biden could get like a primary challenger from the far left that's going to get like 20% of the vote or whatever. But other than that, I'm looking at this and I'm saying that probably around 7 or maybe even 8 keys could end up being false. And at that point, Biden, not based off of a polling data type of thing, but from a historical customs perspective, Biden or Kamala Harris probably not going to be favored, even against Donald Trump. And you talk about the energy factor shifting to the Republicans. If the anger is on the Republican side, and I know it's anecdotal evidence to say, but you see even on like Instagram posts on the For You page by non-political pages that a lot of people in the comment sections are saying, yeah, I was for Biden before the election, but now I'd prefer Trump. And you see a lot of people defecting on the Biden administration. His approval rating is plummeting. At the moment, he's down by 4 in RCP when this video is being recorded. So, yeah, you look at that. Biden is not in the best position right now. It's not difficult to see why, and he likely will be headed for the exit. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Please like this video down below, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle out.